Guys, today we're talking about the Supreme Nike Dunk Shock Drop. We've got even more YEEZYs, and Adidas might be in trouble again. Today's release recap is literally just these, the UNC Toe ones. They shock dropped out in the US. I don't know if other releases are just slipping my mind, but this is the main big release that I can think of. Now, this happened on the 6th of July, and apparently there was 100,000 pairs that actually released through this shock drop, which, if you didn't know, is a huge amount of pairs to release. So obviously, let me know down in the comment section if you managed to get a W. Congrats, by the way. But if you didn't, or you're not out in the US, then just keep in mind there should be some other shock drops or exclusive accesses before the main release, which is going to be happening on July the 22nd. With that being said, let's jump into the upcoming stuff and let's talk about this very interesting Supreme Nike Dunk story. This is the upcoming Supreme Nike SB Dunk collaboration that we've kind of had some conflicting news on. So originally these were expected to drop this month in July, and then we got a bunch of different information saying that they were postponed into the fall winter season. However, now everybody's kind of going back on that delayed rumor because they literally shock dropped out in Singapore on Dover Street Market. So if you take a look at this post here, which was from July the 7th, the Supreme Nike SB Dunk Low and High OG Ramelzy just dropped online via Dover Street Singapore web store and in store. Now, if you ask me and most people, this is a very big indication that they are actually going to be dropping this month. And because it was a shock drop, that obviously raises the likelihood that that could happen for all of the other regions as well. Definitely be on the lookout, stay up to date, because if you're after this pair of shoes and they do just shock drop, they are going to fly. Next up, Nike just officially announced that they're going to relaunch the Kobe brand on Kobe Day. Kobe Day is going to be taking place pretty soon around the corner on August the 24th. This is something that Nike's CEO John Donahoe actually announced. So every year on August the 24th is going to be Kobe Day. So what can we expect? Well, House of Heat says the specifics of what this entails remains under wraps. I mean, we've already seen a bunch of different leaks and rumors of other upcoming Kobe sneakers that we can be expecting, like this pair over here, which is leads us into our next story, a first look at the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Reverse Grinch. This is a pair that's been rumored for a while now, and we all expected a holiday 2023 release date. And that holiday release is still expected to remain. Obviously, this is a Grinch themed pair of shoes, so it would make a lot of sense if it was closer to the holiday season on December the 16th. Now, of course, that's just a placeholder date. We'll have to wait and see. This is them over here. It's literally just a reverse of the original Grinch, coming in all over red with the green laces, which I think looks pretty sick. Overall, it's looking pretty clean, and it's looking good for Kobe fans in general to have the opportunity to buy more Kobe sneakers and not just have resellers eating up the limited ones that drop every now and then. Right, we've got a bunch of dunks on the horizon, so let's start with this one, which is a pair that we've already had, but it's going to be returning next year, apparently sometime in the spring. Now, as you guys know, this pair of dunks originally released back in 2001. They dropped as part of the Ugly Duckling pack. However, they did have a re-release earlier in 2020. Currently, they are still reselling for a decent amount of money, so I guess anybody who really wanted some nostalgia with this pair of dunks, it's kind of a good thing. And another pair that Nike is re-releasing again is the Nike Dunk Low Brazil, which is also returning in the springtime of 2024. This is another pair of dunks that dropped back in 2020. 2020 was kind of like the time where Nike was just going hard with dunks, and dunks were selling out and reselling for a ton of money. Currently, it still is reselling for a decent amount, so hopefully a restock in 2024 means that anybody who had their heart set on this pair of shoes can just pick them up pretty easily. If you wanted something a little bit different and not just a re-release, well, how about something new and something popular? The Nike Dunk Low Twist Panda is coming very soon. To me, this pair of dunks just represents that Nike is trying to absolutely milk as much dunk as they possibly can. So because they've sold hundreds of thousands of pairs of white and black dunks, they needed to change things up again because most people already have Panda dunks by now. So they decided to add a bunch of different plastic parts on this pair of dunks and kind of make the back look like a convertible car, where it just kind of looks like it's gonna close up on your ankle. One thing that I do really like about this pair of dunks is the Nike swoosh. So these are the official images of this pair of sneakers, and an actual release should be taking place on August the 3rd. Another pair of dunks, which is actually pretty clean but nothing really new, the Nike Dunk Low Gray Suede. Now, these are the first looks, and we also don't have a release date for this pair. The name Gray Suede is pretty much self-explanatory of this pair of shoes. It's all over leather with a gray suede upper. I don't think this is anything revolutionary. Is it clean? Yeah. A pair of dunks that actually is pretty interesting is this pair over here, the Nike Dunk Low Cyber, which should be dropping early 2024. Now, we've only got two pictures of this pair of shoes, but you'll realize that these are the only two pictures that we actually need. So we've got this one, obviously someone using the flash on their phones. You can see all of the kind of overlay panels are reflective. When you scroll down, this is the pair of shoes without the flash. So it's pretty much all over a monochromatic colorway, just almost looking like a triple black. I actually think this is pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of the Civilis Dunk, which kind of changed colors when you applied heat to it. I tend to be a sucker for some of these gimmicky things that people put on shoes, like reflective or glow-in-the-dark elements. We've got a super clean New Balance and Atmos collaboration coming soon. The 2002 are Cybernetics blue colorway, going to be dropping right around the corner. We've got two different release dates. We've got the 15th of July for the USA and then the 14th of July for Japan. Guys, are you ready to see one of the most outlandish shoes I think I've seen in a very long time? Adidas just made a pair of shoes entirely made out of Boost. So obviously, Adidas made the incredibly popular Boost technology that usually is only placed in the midsole of their sneakers. However, they decided to just literally make an entire shoe made out of this stuff. I actually couldn't believe it when I saw it. I thought it was just some kind of print that they applied to this pair of shoes, but apparently there's literal Boost on the outside of this shoe. It's actually something that I would love to try on. I feel like it looks so interesting. Only pieces that are not made of Boost on this pair of shoes is all of the hardware, so obviously the eye stays, the laces, then of course the sock liner as well. Either way, there's no specific release date on this pair, so let's keep it moving. Now on the flip side of what we just spoke about, Adidas is going to be releasing a new model, which I'm kind of getting a little bit fed up of. This is the brand new Adidas Oswego. The main problem I have with this shoe is, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but a lot of new Adidas models are all kind of taking the same kind of idea of a retro runner and just applying it to different models. They add the very standard construction of the sneaker being a wide base mesh material and then just really plasticky overlays, which is fine. You know, there is a place in the sneaker world for retro running shoes. I feel like I'm getting a little bit tired of it. It almost seems like every single brand is reinventing older models with this retro runner style. And I feel like we've seen a decent amount of retro running shoes. You know, New Balance is pretty much entirely a brand for that specific reason. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Either way, we don't know an exact release date for this pair of shoes, but I would imagine it drops here in 2023. Oh, we got a brand new colorway of Salehe Bembury slides, not Crocs. So this right here is the Tashmoo colorway. We already have a second colorway on the way, dropping July the 20th in this very nice blue colorway, which right now I just feel like I'm a sucker for blue, whether it's a hoodie, whether it's a t-shirt or slides. Like those new Yeezy slides I'm in love with. So yeah, I'm looking at this pair of slides as, yeah, I might try and pick these things up. Either way, if you're after this really nice blue colorway, again, July the 20th, imagine we start seeing a bunch more raffles and retailers opening up the release very, very soon. Another release that's right around the corner, the Social Status Nike Mac Attack Silver Lining. So these are going to be dropping on July the 14th. This colorway is pretty cool because it has a tearaway Nike swoosh. So you've got this really nice neutral color for the overall aesthetic of this pair of shoes, but you can see underneath the gray Nike swoosh, it tears away to be like this kind of, I don't know, salmon or slightly pinkish color. Either way, Social Status collaborations are decent, so if you were looking at picking up a pair of Mac Attacks, this could be a solid option. Alright, we got some much better images of the upcoming controversial Air Jordan 11 DMP. This is obviously the massive retro of the DMP 11s, however, Jordan Brand decided to chuck on some leather instead of the regular mesh. I've seen some people like super angry and annoyed that Jordan Brand changed the material on this. They just wanted a one-to-one retro, just keep it the same. And I've seen some other people that are actually super happy about it, and they love the look of the leather that's applied to this DMP. Now, the release date is currently set for December the 9th, and something that I think is really interesting about these pictures is if you take a look at this Jumpman over here, you can see it's not embroidered. I believe some of the other images that we saw, maybe it was the first images of this new DMP pair that's dropping this year, but they had an embroidered Jumpman on the back, and that obviously got people pretty annoyed as well. But it looks like from these images, it's not embroidered. That looks to be like the same kind of plasticky print that they put on the back. I'd love to know your thoughts on this down in the comment section. I definitely wanted to show you these updated images because they showcase this pair of shoes way better. Drop it down in the comment section. Do you like the leather or do you hate it? More dunks. I'm gonna speed run through this because we've got quite a few pairs I wanted to mention. So this is the first one, the Nike Dunk Low Green Snakeskin. Nothing crazy, that snakeskin looks very, very artificial to the point where it's just like, is that even snakeskin? We also got the Nike SB Dunk High Sweet Tooth, which is going to be a Halloween release. So apparently these are going to be dropping in October this year. No specific date in October. These things are going to pop like hell when you're wearing them, though. These are going to be very, very noticeable. These are inspired by candy corn, so it's going to be relatable to mostly people people out in the US. I don't even know if candy corn is a thing anywhere else in the world. And I think some of the most interesting details is the actual toe box over here. So you've got like this little debossed print over here, which I think is pretty cool. Nike Dunk Low Chicago Split is dropping right around the corner. So July the 14th, I've actually already seen some raffles popping up. So if you're interested in this colorway, which is relatively interesting, nothing crazy, but it is a cool concept where they're basically splitting a lot of the colorway on it. And obviously it's a Chicago pair of dunks, so yes, this is probably going to be decently hyped at least. Final dunk we're talking about, I promise. This is the Nike SB Dunk Low Tight Booth collaboration, which we just have some updated images on. So it's something that we've spoke about last week. You can see all of the details, the tongue, the inner sock liner, just the overall colorway, and it's looking pretty decent. All right, finally moving away from all of the upcoming dunks, Drake just showcased his latest sneaker on stage. This right here is what people are thinking is the Nike Nocta Hot Step 2. Now, Drake is currently doing his All a Blur tour, which is where he's wearing this pair of shoes, and I think he's worn a couple different colorways. You can see this one over here is the kind of Volt orange color, and it's actually looking pretty clean. I wish he didn't wear such freaking baggy pants so we could see more of the sneaker, but I gotta say, it's not looking bad, at least in my opinion. I like the whole futuristic aesthetic that it has. Now, I'm not too sure if it's just the lighting or if this is actually a green colorway, but you can see he's wearing them again. Obviously, he's got these super baggy pants on, and we can kind of expect that this collaboration could start popping up relatively soon. All right, we got more new Yeezys, which it seems like every single week we get at least one new colorway of apparently an upcoming pair of new Yeezys. This one's actually very unexpected and pretty cool. Yeezy Quantum colorway coming in all over white and black. I happen to be one of the few that actually really likes the Quantum model. I know it's definitely not the most hyped Yeezy silhouette, and this is definitely one of the nicer colorways I've seen. This pair right here looks to be like an actual production version because obviously it comes complete with the box, the inner sock pieces of cardboard, and we've also got some images of the actual label that comes with it. So you can see that this is a size 10, and we've also got the style code over here. Now look, all of these Yeezy leaks have been literally piling up, so I don't know what the hell is going on over at Adidas. Are they still producing new Yeezy models? Either way, if we get any more information on a Yeezy Day 2 release, which inevitably I think has to happen, I'll let you guys know. Speaking of Adidas collaborations that we are still waiting on, take a look at this. We got much better images of the Fear of God Adidas basketball silhouette. We got Knowing Kicks over here on Instagram with some on-foot shots so you can get a better idea of what this pair of shoes looks like. This looks like it's probably going to be the first colorway that drops. It's the pair that was actually showcased at the Fear of God Adidas runway show that they did. It looked pretty cool. Again, it's a basketball silhouette, so I don't think it's necessarily going to be like a mainstream sneaker. Either way, let me know what you think about this pair of shoes. Do you think this could be a cool pair to rock casually, or do you think it's probably just going to be a performance basketball shoe and that's about it? All right, we got another rapper who's going to be making his mark in the footwear scene. Not a collaboration. NBA Youngboy is going to be releasing his own shoe. So apparently this sneaker right here is going to be called the Gravedigger, and a lot of these comments are talking about how Nike is going to hit this man with a lawsuit. I think because it kind of looks like an Air Force One. And apparently it's going to retail at $250. Very nice mocha style color. We've got an incredible looking box, which is actually really sick. Either way, let me know what you think of the Gravediggers, NBA Youngboy's new sneakers. Are you copping? All right, we got a Travis Scott Jordan 1 update. This one's going to be very brief because I feel like this information has been drip fed to us. We got like a close-up image of the logo, and then we got the close-up image of them unlaced and then laced, and now we actually have a release date. So at least there's that. This pair right here, the golf version of the Travis Scott Nike Air Jordan 1 Low. These are now going to be dropping on October the 13th. Guys, the off-white Air Force Ones are finally dropping. But the way I said that, you probably thought about the lows, right? No, we're getting another pair of mids. Listen, I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but you might actually like this one. So this is going to be dropping right around the corner, and this is the Sheed colorway, the all-over patent leather black and white pair. So yeah, just to give you some better images of this pair of shoes, and actually the original Air Force or the PE that was inspiring this colorway, this is it right over here. Either way, the Rasheed Wallace inspired off-white Air Force One mid is going to be dropping on August the 3rd. Final story for today. We gotta talk about Jordan Brand absolutely dominating. So there's two things I kind of want to talk about. The first one is this over here. Jordan Brand has made $19.5 billion in the last 5 years. So let's take a look at the past 5 years in annual sales. In 2018, they did $2.8 billion. 2019, 3.1. 2020, 3.7. 2021, 4.8. And 2022, 5.1. Nice Kicks points out over here that MJ takes home a 5% royalty. So essentially, he's making $255 million annually. And that's just chilling. He just sits back, plays some golf, and wears some mids or lows, and then the brand does this well. And because of Jordan Brand's success, they may surpass Adidas as America's second biggest sportswear brand. That would make Nike just insanely dominant in the world of footwear. They have both of their brands, obviously the main one, Nike, and then they have their sub-label brand being the second biggest, which would just be insane. But Jordan Brand keeps growing incredibly well, and as we know, Adidas not really doing the same thing. They get into some of the numbers over here, so if you're interested, just pause and read all of this, but we're not going to go through all of that because it's about time to wrap up, guys. That is all the stories I have for you this week. Check out my review on the Jordan 1 UNC toe and comment on that video with what you prefer, the blue laces or the black laces.